Yeah, buddy. Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. This is Lelldorin. In this episode, we're going to be doing another quick Cayde stash, kind of like reboot. I'm going to make this a little bit quicker for you, show you some of the things that are hidden in the mission Cayde stash, and show you some of my theories that I have about, the Cayde stash mission. So the first thing you need to know is, first off, there are a couple hidden ghosts within the Cayde stash mission. Now, the first one you can find actually when you're doing patrols. It's in this very first room, right before you go. If you remember where the spider tank drops down, off to the right where that spider tank drops down, right here, you go up in those stairs, there's going to be a hidden ghost inside that room. I've already gotten it, so I'm just kind of shooting around the room here to show you where it could possibly be. I don't really remember. That was one of the first ghosts I got in like a year or so ago. So I'm not sure exactly where it is. I think it's on one of those computer panels, but I don't 100% remember. Now, the second ghost is going to be when you get up inside there, right before you go in the elevators, when you kill all those Taken, there is a hidden ghost up in the rafters, right next to that giant black orb. Now, the orb I'm shooting at right now. Right a little bit towards the elevators from that. It's going to take me a second or three here to get to it. But there's a dead ghost hidden up in the rafters right there. So you just got to kind of jump up and down, 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 and hit the square button until you get to it. Now, the third one is kind of a pain in the butt for me to get here. Now, if you see, I'm just going to be shooting up at the ceiling. Not really the ceiling. I'm shooting up at that little tower up there. If you see right there, there's kind of like a light. Okay, so you have to jump here first, up onto, let me back up a little bit, right here. You got to jump up onto this little platform here. And if you're a hunter or a warlock or a titan, it's kind of a pain in the butt, doesn't really matter. And then you jump up onto that second little platform right where that pipe is. Right where that pipe is. And then you should jump from there straight up, and you should be able to grab the ghost. If you can't grab it, you may have already gotten it. But there is a ghost there. It's kind of a pain in the butt sack, which sounds really weird, to get to. Now, the last ghost is after you beat the Shade of Orcs. And after you scan the room, there's a ghost around the outside. I'm just going to jump around the outside here to show you where it could be. I've already gotten that one as well, so I don't remember where it is. But just jump around that pipe until you find it. So that's a total of 4 ghosts in this mission if you've gotten none of them before. Now, the second thing is there's a couple scannable items. Okay, the first scannable item is after you beat the first yellow knight, Taken Knight. There's going to be some scannable bones in the ground. Scannable bones basically just talk about a rite of, like some kind of rite that they did that the Fallen were doing at some time, and they were using the bones from the pods, etc., etc. It's kind of interesting. Next thing is going to be when you go into the room and you kill Sepkus. Remember where you had to kill Sepkus? Actually, let me let this one play first so you can kind of see what they are. Alright, so this is the first one. See, he's talking about bones and crap. See right in here?
Not all of these bones belong to guardians who
pull out your little ghosty ghost.
Some were pulled from the stasis pods and offered in
Let's hear what he
sacrifice.
said. You guys ready?
That makes them older than the collapse. Typically, the Fallen only use this ceremonial presentation for members of rival houses.
See? There you go. Okay, so now the next part is where you go in the room after you kill all those freaking Taken, Fallen, all those little buggers that kind of snipe your face out. Here's the second one. After you killed, you can scan the remains of Sepkus. And he just basically says, remember when he was the hardest thing we had to kill? Bleh. And then the very last one is after you kill the Shade of Orcs, there's one more thing you can scan. And this one's just kind of an Easter egg. It has to do with, everybody thinks it's Halo. It has to do with Master Chief. And it just basically says that he was maybe the Guardian that they were looking for, but he was like, no man, I'm going back to sleep, this is crap. Okay, so anyway, so that's all that. Now the next part, and the biggest part, is Cayde's actual stash itself. And this is the biggest Easter egg in the game because no one's figured out exactly what the fuck he's talking about yet. Now, I have the limited edition, so we're going to be kind of going through this as well. This is the book from the limited edition that there's some more stuff hidden into. Now, when you first get into that tower, the first meat and potatoes part of this mission where you killed the Taken, you got in, and he said, how did you get in there? There is a card on the first console before you move the bridge. And that first card is not scannable. You just see it there on the ground. I'm going to pull it out here because I actually have a copy of the card from the limited edition. Now that card is a spade. Okay. Now I shot it because one of the thoughts was if you shoot the spades supposedly refer to hake weapons. Now people were thinking maybe you had to shoot it with a hake weapon. You can see here I'm shooting it with a hake weapon and ain't doing crap. So these are the 2 cards you can find first. Well, first and last. There's a heart in there in the middle. Anyway, so these 2 cards are in this mission. So that's the first one. Now, the second card you find if you haven't done the Cayde stash mission yet, right here, right before you go up in the teleporter that takes you up to beat the last guy. Don't go in that teleporter. See, I'm shooting at it right now. What you want to do is turn around and walk away from that thing, and you will notice 2 vents on the ceiling. Okay, now you shoot those vents. See, here we go. I'm reloading. And then you shoot. You shoot those vents, and you jump up in there. For some reason, I just can't get my butt up in there. I don't know why. But I just can't get my butt up in there. So once you get up in there, you go through these tunnels, go all the way in, get all the way to the end, and you'll find another card. Now, that card is another scannable card. It's a heart. No, I'm sorry. This one's this one here. He talks about in this one. He talks about how what each one had to do with something whenever he had a stash. Like one was for Cayde, one was for Crux Lomar, the other was for Omelon, and hearts were for a woman that he knew. Now that's the biggest mystery where everybody's trying to figure it out. We ask her name, and he kind of changed the subject. Now the last card you find, and this is why it gets confusing, because that card is right here, right after you kill him, right before you scan this big bad thing here. There's a card right there on the ground. Hold on, I'm trying to get to it. It is right there, right next to it. Now, you don't have to scan it yet, and I highly recommend you don't, because you got to get that ghost and the you want to scan that pot I was telling you about before. But before you do that, look at that card on the ground there. Now, that card, I shot it with my gun just to see, because I got hockey weapons like a mofo, and none of it works. But that card is a double card. So as you can see right there, now that card is this card again. So why is there 2 of these? That means Cayde, right? So there's 2 of these cards. That's the knight, okay? And then there's 1 of these cards, the queen. So why is there 2 of these and 1 of these? I'm very confused, because if you look one more time. So that's the card at the very end of the mission, and here's the card on the panel. Now that second card is this one here. So we got the first card that was on the first panel is this one. Second card that we find is this one. So we got a queen, and I think it's a king. I don't know. It could be a knight. But there's those 2 cards. And the only other one is going to be that one we found inside his stash itself, where he says it makes reference to a girl. So it's very confusing. Like, who is this girl he's talking about? Why is all this crap in plain sight? Is it just in that room and that's his stash and he just doesn't want to share it with us? Because he even says, you can take all the glimmer, but the exotics are mine. So maybe that is his stash. Maybe we just haven't figured that crap out yet. Like, it's highly possible that that is the room.
There's nothing in here. But
we just don't know. Because we have 2 of these cards in this mission and 1 of this card. So what is going on? Like, does he just not want to share with us? Now, here's the other part of the confusation that we have. All right, in this book, he goes through talking about that girl he's in love with. Okay, now here's the biggest clue. Now, I drove all over in my Sparrow. I'm just going to kind of zip through all over the Star Collective. I went over to Campus 9, and then I remembered near the archive itself, there's an area off to the right. Now, here's Campus 9. I drove all in there. But inside this book, when you look at her identification, which where the hell did it go? Oh, it's back here. When you look at her identification, there's a 6 on it. Okay, you see that? There's a 6 on her badge. Okay, and it talks about, he's talking about Venus. The coast is different, beautiful and unbroken and timeless. It teems with new life. It teems with new life. Every big brain in the system has their sights set on the Academy. We were there for the Ahamkara, parasitic reptilian creatures that appeared out of thin air. Inexplicable genome, new proteins, so much potential. And me, I'm there for her, Dr. Maya Sandaresh. She's poured into the research on the brink of another breakthrough, focused on devouring every new data point. Brilliant, driven, beautiful. And then it says, I can see her so clearly. Dark hair split into smooth, shimmering strands, fanning over her forehead. Gray irises blooming as she looks up from her work to see me standing there beside her. Realigning, because it's rain, whatever. This is the last part. No. She doesn't know me at all. She doesn't even recognize my face, even though I've been standing over her shoulder for months. I'm nothing more than a fixture, a required imposition, an unwanted necessity. I'm no egghead, never was. Just like now, back then I was a need-to-know basis, and the only thing I need to know is that nothing and nobody gets through the door and past me without at least 3 layers of security clearance and a whole lot of muscle. Still, I think about saying something, saying anything. In a second, my mind rifles through a trillion possibilities. But she's already turned back to her work. I shuffle my feet, straighten my back, and return to mine. It's kind of sad. But anyway, so the biggest clue in this part is this thing right here, this number 6. Okay, so in this area right over here, right before you get to the vault where all the information is, not the academy, but the library they have over there. there's 6s on that wall. There's one right here when you first enter the area, and there's one over there when you enter the when you start to go into that main point right before you have to kill that big eyeball thing, and then there's one more on the wall over here. So what are these 6s? I swear I think that there's got to be a door in this area when this is a daily heroic mission that we are going to find his stash, or maybe another clue. There's going to be a card somewhere, because these cards are only available in that mission when it's the daily heroic mission. These cards. So there's got to be another card whenever it's the Ishtar Collective. It's got to be. That's the only thing I can think of. So make sure you leave. Now, some people are having the idea that it might be the Stranger, the Exo Stranger, which is possible as well. Because some people believe that Cayde and all of the, oh my God, my brain's not working. All the Exos were once humans that uploaded their consciousness into the Exos, and as they reline their consciousness, they become a different number. That's why there's Cayde 6, and the one guy is like 60-something. So he could have been a human being at one point, and Dr. Maya Sundaresh could have been a human being at some point as well. And maybe now she's the Exo Stranger, but we don't know. Who is Maya Sundaresh? Who's this woman he's talking about? Where is his freaking stash? So that's the biggest mystery right now in Destiny. Now, I'm not sure where we're going to find this, but I highly recommend, if the Ishtar Collective is ever a daily again, we have got to pour ourselves into that. Either that one or the other one where you have to go over and you have to clear out the Campus 9. One of those two is going to have some kind of clues, because I drove through here forever trying to find stuff, and I can't find any more of these cards. So if you've happened to find anything else, make sure you leave some comments down below. Also, make sure you click the like, share, and subscribe, because I need all the help I can get. But I want you guys leaving comments. Let's make this page as active as the last one. Now, this one I wanted to make shorter because the last one was kind of a walkthrough. It was unplanned, whereas this one is a little bit quicker for you guys. But if you have anything you found in this collector's edition, if there's any ideas, if there's anything you have that I haven't covered, that no one else has covered, leave your comments down below. No matter how asinine you think it may be, it could leave. Let's freaking brainstorm and figure this out. So until next time, this is Lelldorin signing off. Be sure to join me every single day at the same Lelldorin time, the same Lelldorin channel, and every Monday at 10 p.m. on live stream on my Twitch channel. But until then, get out of here, guys. I got more stuff to do for you. See you again soon. Bye.
The best hiding places are always in plain sight.